everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Now I have been asked so many times I have lost count now, where do I buy my silver from and where is the best place to buy cheap silver if you're in the UK? For those who are watching and don't know, in the UK we pay sales tax when you buy silver from a dealer, which is 20% extra premium. It's a killer. It really does make silver an unattractive option for the majority of people. However, because we're still in the European Union for now, and I'm sorry, we will be addressing everybody's favourite topic of Brexit in today's video. Because we're in the European Union still, at least until October the 31st, we can buy from places like the European Mint or goldsilver.be and have the silver imported VAT free, and there's no additional taxes, which is fantastic. And we've been doing that now for the last couple of years with what I've been calling group orders. So people have been able to place orders of silver through the European Mint. We've teamed up and we've done some mega mammoth unboxings over this last couple of years. We've had to change the way they've worked slightly over this last few months, but they are still ever popular, and we've got a huge vault of silver accumulating within the European Mint ready to be shipped over to us in September. So today's video has kind of two messages, two purposes. First section we'll talk on this recent group order, how to get involved, and basically the time frames around it as well that we're looking to work to in the run-up to Brexit. And then I'll address a few little kind of thoughts and processes that I've got in my head anyway about Brexit and the implications that that's going to have for the future buying silver generally. And in my opinion, it's, yeah, if we come out with a no deal and there's no immediate trade deal with the EU, I think silver is going to be a pretty hard buy for anybody in the UK who's a serious stacker. So lots of cool things to talk about. I know it's all Brexit related and everybody hates it, but it does affect the group orders. That's where we're going to start here today. So one of the reasons for making this video is that, you know, in the UK at the moment we've got a new Prime Minister. You heard that little sigh there. It's not that I'm necessarily against Boris Johnson per se, but it's just another series of what ifs, another series of we don't exactly know what's going to happen and what's going to go on with Brexit, and basically we're none the wiser, and it's looking more and more likely that we're going to get that no deal, crash out, cliff edge moment where we'd come out and basically if anything was to be delivered after the 31st of October, VAT will be applied, customs will be applied when it comes through the border. So that is of course something to factor in for these group orders. Now at the moment they're ongoing, but we will be having a hard cut-off of around, it's going to be roughly around the 20th of September. That will allow enough time for the European Mint to put together whatever last order that we have and then ship it to us here in the Backyard Bullion household for us to then distribute out to all of you guys who've been involved in the group orders. And that will be it. That will then be the last basically opportunities for these group orders until we know more about the outcome of the shenanigans around no deal Brexit. And if things are extended again, or if there's a situation where we get to enjoy the free trade, you know, as a sort of transition period, that's definitely something that is possible. Then we will look to reopen the group orders in their current format and continue to use them as best we can. But for the time being, there is a significant amount of uncertainty about whether or not that is going to happen. So we are having to, of course, protect ourselves, because ultimately these things are being delivered to myself here, and if something was ordered and then it came after the 31st of October and I was hit with a very large tax bill, that's not going to be a fun conversation to have with somebody to recuperate that cash. And it also defeats the entire point of ordering from somewhere like the European Mint. So what we are planning to do, so for those who've already joined in the recent, joined in the orders over the last couple of weeks, there will be a delivery in early to mid-September, probably the second week of September, and then there'll be one following order which will happen. As I said, there'll be a closing date, hard closing date of around the 20th of September. I will firm up the exact finish date for that and publish that at some point on the forum. And then that's it. We'll see how it goes and see how it pans out. But that will mean there'll be two more big unboxings. So we'll have two huge silver unboxings, no doubt, before end of October, essentially. That is the plan. So that then leaves us on to what is going to happen in the future. So I have talked about Brexit a number of times on my channel, and I don't think it's a shock to anybody that I was, was is a really important word. I was anti-Brexit. I was anti-leaving the European Union. I voted to remain. But I am very much of the mind now that if we don't leave on the 31st of October, that is an incredibly bad thing for the UK. We are already being seen as pretty much a laughing stock in the kind of global community. You know, we made this decision over 3 years ago now, and we're still here not having left after 3 years. It's just ridiculous. And I'm at the point now where stay or leave, it doesn't actually matter. You know, the world will keep on turning. And yes, there'll be some changes, and everybody hates changes. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people in that kind of Remain camp are still, they're still quite anti leaving the European Union. Change is always difficult. It always has been for anyone. But ultimately, I think it's going to yield some very interesting times within silver. So first up, silver is going to automatically, if there's a no deal, this is all ifs and buts, of course, it's conjecture. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. But if we crash out of the European Union on a no deal Brexit, it'll automatically have overnight a 20% price bump on what people will be paying for their silver, because automatically you can't get that good value. So there's definitely going to be some interesting times to watch in the UK. Whether that means that the general price and retail value on the secondary market will increase by 20%, I don't know. It probably won't have any impact on spot prices. The only impact that will happen on spot prices will be relative to currencies, and that's a whole different kettle of fish. That, with Brexit, you see huge reductions in the pound, and that's one thing that I don't like about Brexit, the fact that we have lost an awful lot of value in the value of the pound over this last 3 years basically since that vote. It went down really, really very quickly, and it was quite shocking to see that we were once upon a time at 1.35 or 1.33 for the UK pound versus the euro, and now it's at 1.1-ish or less than that. It went down to 1.075 I think at one point. So yeah, that's the thing that I don't like the most about it. It's not the fact that we are leaving and there's going to be changes, because the world will continue to turn and business will still keep going. But it's more about the fact that our currencies that we have to live with every day are being devalued by this whole process. And that's not necessarily because of the Brexit issue itself, it's because of the uncertainty that comes from the whole process. Now, there are going to be a lot of opportunities, I think, for trade deals with other countries out there, and that's going to be really exciting. And it could well be that we end up doing group orders from places like Atmex in America or something like that. Who knows? Look at this Krugerrand, by the way. I found this the other day. It's a really unpleasant blemish or spot there. I don't know quite what that is, whether that's a drop of oil or something that's gone on it. But anyway, I digress. The point is that with us leaving the European Union, we could end up having some fantastic trade deals with other countries out there. And you've seen in the news recently that Donald Trump and his administration have said that we've become, a number one priority for a trade deal, which is really exciting. So who knows is the honest answer, and the world could be our oyster. But we won't know until probably the week before the 31st of October, which is always really difficult to kind of manage. Now, the last thing to talk about is the sort of the backyard bullion business. In terms of where we are as a business and it relating to silver, of course, we buy a lot of silver to then make into bars and sell on. That's, of course, going to be affected by Brexit, of a no-deal Brexit. But I want to let you guys know that we have been taking precautions. We've, to a certain extent, got a small stockpile in place for our own hand-poured silver. I don't like increasing prices, but at some point it's going to have to be addressed that the raw materials that we are using could go up considerably, and that's definitely something to factor in. So from that point of view, it's going to be an interesting time over the rest of the year, certainly if we get that no deal. I'm going to finish this video with my thoughts on what might well happen. I genuinely don't think that we'll be leaving on the 31st of October, and that's very disappointing from so many levels. I really genuinely think there's going to be a delay again, or an extension again, or something like that. You hear all of these things from Boris Johnson saying that we come what may, we're going to leave, and that's it. But I just can't see it. I'm really a pessimist when it comes to that kind of things, and I have this huge dislike and distrust of all kind of politicians at the moment, and I just can't see the promises that they're making coming true, and that's a really sad state of affairs to be in. So anyway, that is basically it for today. A little bit of a rant about Brexit, also an update on the group orders. If you are interested in those group orders and you want to find out more about how they work, there's a link down in the description below to the thread on the Silver Forum with all of the instructions and everything you need to know. And that's where I'll be communicating a lot of the updates. There will be, as I said, an unboxing coming out probably in the second week of September, so it's probably one not to miss. I think it's going to be over 1,000 ounces. It's going to be a pretty big order, that's for sure. So yeah, stick around for that. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see that when it comes out. If you liked today's video, thumbs up, share it around on your social media. That'd be very helpful for everything that we do here on our channel. Otherwise, that is basically it for me. We've got an incredibly cool video coming out tomorrow. For those of you who have been diligently watching for the last 10 minutes, I'll give you a nice reward. Here is what's coming out tomorrow. That's the only sneak peek you're going to get. That is the only sneak peek you're getting. It's one not to miss. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see that. Thank you for watching. Have a brilliant weekend and week ahead. As always, please make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.